Hello.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
We have the honor here of having
Hi, I'm Alter, and I'm with Moshe here. It's a pleasure
Alter
to be here.
Deitsch.
Alter Deitsch.
Yes.
Mhm.
We got to know each other over some Izzy's.
Oh, yeah. Burnt ends. If you're ever at Izzy's, try the burnt ends. You get the flavor surrounding all areas. Your favorite. Shout out Izzy's.
Topic we're covering today is how to go from 0 to 1.
0 to 1.
0 to 1.
You're starting an industry. You have an idea. How do you move?
0 to 1.
0 to 1.
And also I want to cover a topic about finding the right people to partner with.
Okay.
So 0 to 1.
0 to 1.
And complementing your deficiencies in your personality, finding the right people to work with, and then with that.
Got you.
Okay.
Got you. Well, the
You like
first
those two
thing
topics?
I love it. I have a slightly different angle to it personally.
Okay.
The way I do it is always hear somebody out. Somebody comes to you, they have an idea, hear them out. You know, he's gonna tell you, I want to put SIM cards on the moon with robots and rovers. You listen, you take the meeting, you hear them out, because you never know. So that's first of all. Some people get too selective, like who to work with. Oh, his nose was crooked, I can't work with him. Hear them out, see if there's something you could do. That's first of all. Zweitens, the second thing is, you really have to know your skills first of all. What do you bring to the table in order to know what the other person, how they complement? So, if you are, for example...
So second, you're answering the second question first.
Okay, you want to know
I'm
0 to
asking
1.
you.
Well...
Alright, so the second question, you're going to who you bring on to get your project is knowing your own shortcomings and knowing what you bring to the table.
Correct.
Okay.
The reason why I'm answering that first is just the way it's turned out in my life has been, more or less, if it's a project that I want to do, I do it myself. If it's a project I'm involved with, it's usually somebody else has approached me and said, I have this idea, let's do it. So that's just why my brain is working that way. But I'm sure there's a million ways to go about this. But for me, if there was a project I wanted to do, I need to know what's going to be the energy cost for me, energy, time, money, how much reward is there going to be, and what's the balance of that. If there's too much energy, not enough reward, I'm out. If it's like this, I'm in. So that's the first thing you need to know. How much is it going to take from you, and how much is going to come back? Same thing with when you're working with somebody else. They bring an idea to you. They say, hey, I want you to be involved in this new business I'm doing. Okay, what do you want from me? Oh, you want me to do sales and call and this? I know what that takes. What's my possible reward? Now we could have a conversation. Second thing is, do you like this person? Can you stand sitting in a room with them for 5-10 minutes? I've had people who had great ideas, but they talk like this, and I get nervous. If someone brings you an idea, if you're into high energy, that works. But yeah, so you have to know if you could like this person, if you can sit and do it. That's what it is. And then if you can, take it from there.
Great, that was a second question. Back to the first question. How do you get from 0 to 1?
0 to 1.
Most people don't create, and most people fall apart because they don't know how to get from 0 to 1.
0 to 1.
So how do you get from an idea? Would it be like Chachma until what?
Chachma into Maisa.
Maisa.
From Chachma into Maisa.
Yeah.
Okay. Chachma usually, for me anyway, occurs in the shower. You're sitting there, and all of a sudden, you have this idea. It's half-baked, and then you do that cost-benefit analysis thing that we said. And then if you like that, that's already going into Bina, because you're thinking, what is it going to take? What do I have to do? You think the steps through. And then, at that point, if you like it, if you know this, what it's going to cost and what you get out of it, that is Das. If you like it, after you've thought about that feeling, that is Das. The next thing, if you want to go to 0 to 1, how do you make Maisa? Do anything involved in this project. Do anything. Call one person about it. Say, hey, I had this idea, I think you could help. Make any move. And, personally, I like that move of calling somebody, make it semi-public. Because then, somebody's going to ask, oh, so where are you holding with that project? Once it's out there in the world and you've asked somebody, it's now...
Shut off that volume. Yeah?
Once you ask somebody, it's now officially out there in the world, and somebody's going to ask you about it, and you're going to want to stand up to it. That's why some people say, don't talk, because then you'll be embarrassed if it doesn't pull through. Personally, I don't care about that. Because I have a bunch of ideas. I'm running through. We're going next. Oh, that one didn't work out. I'm on to the next thing. I personally don't care about that.
So making something semi-public makes you accountable.
Makes you accountable.
To random people.
And it's the first step. It's the action. You need to do something. That's the most important. If you have an idea, good. As soon as you do anything, it's now in the Welt. My favorite one to do is ask somebody, So now somebody's going to ask you about it, keep you semi-accountable. So that's a good move.
So, for example, let's say I want to open up a laundromat.
Laundromat.
Right, what would be the first move, an example of the first move?
Okay. Laundromat. This is interesting because I was just speaking to somebody he's a manager in buildings. He manages buildings to make sure they're clean, they're good, and they third party out their laundromats. So first thing I would do if I hear about a laundromat, guy's got tons of machines, he wants to flip them, whatever. I call this friend of mine, I say, hey, what would it cost for me to set up in your buildings? How many buildings, how many machines? Now, the conversation has begun. He will get back to me, and I'll reach out to 5 of these guys. Laundromat, boom, I'm already out there in the world. And that's another thing. It ties into what I said earlier, is speak to everyone. Listen to any idea, because once you mention laundromat, I know I already had a conversation about a laundromat with somebody, and you can make connections. That's the only way to do it, is to speak to everybody, and then the world is yours. You mentioned laundromat, I know what to do already. Sometimes you don't know what to do. You can ask somebody more knowledgeable, fine. But the more conversations you have, the more shaykhs you have to doing anything. So laundromats, my first thing will be call the guy, find out what it would take. Once you need to crunch the numbers right away. Crunch the numbers instantly. He tells you it's going to cost XYZ. You know how much your machines cost. You know how much cycles could run. You ask him how many people do laundry, how many do. Crunch the numbers instantly so you know what you're talking about. If it works, again, it's that cost benefit. If it works, it works. And then you take it to the next step. If not, you dip it. That's how it goes.
Great. Thanks so much, Alter. I appreciate that. I like the way you express that one action, just getting the ball rolling, especially if you call a sales guy for a washing machine. He'll be on top of you.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
He'll be like, oh, so what's up with your washing?
I actually know a washing guy. There you go. Again, they're making the connections. I know a washing machine sale. If you need, I know a guy.
Thanks so much, Alter.
Dr.
Episode 1 with Mr. Popular, Alter Deitsch.
Yeah.